working on Easter eggs. It's that time of year, and I love all the colors of Easter, all the colors of spring. So I've been playing around with some foam eggs, and these are the foam eggs. You can get these at different craft stores. I got mine actually at Oriental Trading. The reason I got them there is because I was also ordering some other eggs, because our downtown Altoona business community, soon to be the Altoona area business community in Altoona, Pennsylvania, we're doing an excellent Eggstravaganza where people go from it's like a crawl, if you will, and people go from store to store and they'll get things, but those eggs will open up and there'll be a prize inside. But these are just styrofoam eggs I happened to see, and I got them. So I've been doing different things with them, and the things that I'm playing with today are the IOD molds. So we're adding the molds to some of them, and right now they're in various stages. And then we're also using some of the stamps, and we're using the knob topper stamps. So some of those designs, like for instance the Mandela. So I'm going to be showing you how I achieved these looks and how you can achieve these looks too. The first look we're going to concentrate on is the molds. So I'm using the new formulation of air dry clay, and we're going to put it into the molds. So I'll put the camera down so you can see that. Pardon my hand. And I had some clay here that just fell out when I picked that up. But we're going to grab some of the clay and squish it together. The new formulation is totally wonderful. Okay, very popular motifs this time of year, or rather at this time, are the bees and the crowns. That's really a cool look, and I think that we're going to go with something different though. In the cherubs mold, there's also one that's cute little flowers. So I think we're going to go with some flowers for Easter, and we're just going to take some of the clay and just roll it. And if you hear anything weird in the background, it's my dog chewing his bones. So just, I'm working from home today, so it's one of the joys of being at home is spending time with my dog named Grizz. Okay, so I just kind of pulled some of the excess clay away from the edge, and now I'm just going to take, in this case, an emery board, because today I just don't have all my proper tools with me, so I'm using what I have. It's working just fine. And this has a micro edge, so that allows you to flatten the excess. And because I used a little cornstarch in the mold, it's going to pop right out of there. Here so you can take a look. How pretty. Okay, that should be a blooper, but you know what, we'll just keep that right in there. But I just want you to see the detail on that. Okay. Now, you live and you learn, right? So I'm going to make another one for the same egg. The reason why, I don't know whether I left any that just have one on them. I don't think I did, but it was like a magic act. The weight of the mold, once it was dry, would just flip the egg over. So you kind of have to put something on both sides of the egg so that it'll lay nicely in your baskets or wherever you want to put it. Okay, so just pull the excess. There's beautiful cherubs on there. And this is so anxious to pop out of the mold and become something beautiful. So again, just pop it out. Beautiful. So I have two. Okay. So what I'm going to do and I'm using Aileen's tacky glue right now. And if I was in a hurry, I could add some hot glue to this just to get it to set up, but I would still continue to use the tacky glue underneath just for more permanence. And I'm just going to take a brush and spread this around a little bit. Just want to get it to the edges. Hear the neighbor doggy barking. It is, you know, spring, but we don't have super spring-like weather yet, so patience, I guess, but it's supposed to get nice this week. So on here you might not be able to see it, but there's sort of a seam. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna kind of follow along that seam just to make it even. But I'm just gonna press the mold on here. Press it down as much as you can to make contact with the egg, but also you don't want to press so hard that you compromise the mold. So I have this in my hand and I'm just going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And again, I'm doing both sides just to balance the egg. So when I do a top view, it looks pretty even. Okay, so I'm just going to set this guy aside to dry. Now, again, if you wanted to speed it up, put a hot glue with it, and that just is kind of like bastes it into place, if you will, so you can start immediately. Because you could paint right over this. You don't have to wait until it dries, because then everything dries together. But I prefer when I'm painting the molds to let them dry. So it's up to you, and as you work with it, you will decide what's best for you. But at any rate, I'm going to set this aside because I'm done with working with molds right now. And good practice is you want to get this put away right away and just slip it down into a Ziploc bag and get the air out of it. Then it'll stay nice and squishy for you. Technical term. Okay. Just get the excess air out of there. Alrighty. I'm gonna seal it up. Okay, so on to painting your eggs. Now I'm going to pull this over here and show you the array of colors that I've been working with. I so love spring colors, and Dixie Belle has 64 colors to play with. This one's not painted yet. We're going to work on that, but here's a couple that I've done molds with, and these are rather big molds. A crown and a bee, and these are done in haint blue. And it's not painted at all. Here's the one that I really think is cute. And you notice you're not seeing very much of the detail, but we're going to change that in a second here. But it's a bunny rabbit and the flower motif. But how sweet is that one for spring? I love the haint blue color. It's one of my very favorites. And again, this is another one with the crown and the bee. There's some other ones that we're going to work on with the knob topper stamps, and I'll show you those in a minute. We'll work with those in a minute, but right now we're going to work on the ones with the molds. Okay, so those are the only ones so far that we have the molds on. I'm going to be finishing those up, but I'm going to show you how we finish these off. So this is one that hasn't been painted yet, and I'm just going to grab a brush here. We'll do another one in the, you know what, I don't have enough green. So I have this beautiful sea glass color here. I'm going to grab that. We'll do sea glass. And this is why I like to let them dry, because to get in all the details, you're just going to kind of pounce the paint in there. So you would risk losing some of that detail. And again, we will be accentuating those details. We're going to be using some of the beautiful gilding waxes that Dixie Belle has to bring out the colors in these. Okay, probably should paint one side and then the other. I wasn't thinking. Just anxious to show you how we're applying the paint. So I think I'll do that. I will let that go. The paint dries very quickly, but of course you don't want it to all get smudged. One tool I have found is really awesome is using an empty egg carton. Perfect for eggs, right? And just set them down in there just till they dry. Okay? So you can imagine the rest of that process. Okay. But here's where we embellish the ones that are done already. So I'm going to grab some of the waxes that I have here. I just grabbed a few of them, and some of the fun ones: Anastasia, turquoise teal, sterling silver. We can use them all, or we can use just a few of them, whatever we want. It's totally up to us. So I think, because of the bunny rabbit, I think I'm just going to use some turquoise teal on this guy, because we used the Haint blue, and if we decide, we can add some more. Actually, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of everything, because why not? I like the sterling silver too. I'm just putting my fingers in there, and again, like I said before, your tools are, your first tools are your hands. So I could have gotten a little more paint in there, but I'm trying to repair that with the wax. You see what's happening? All that little detail in the, yes, it is hot. All the little detail in the mold shows up when you put the wax on it. And I think to give it a good vintage look, that sterling silver has a little shine to it, but in this case, on this matte surface, I think it actually gives more of a grayish patina kind of to it, which is really cool, and what I'm kind of trying to achieve. So I'm just using my finger and rubbing that wax on, and I'm going to rub around the outsides of these too, because I think it really highlights them. And you know, you can just kind of rub it in. You can use a cloth if you want, and do some more. I just think the texture on these is really great. I could have used a little more paint on there. Yeah, I may come back. The beauty of Dixie Belle products is that you can layer them because they're water-based. So when you let that set up, you can come back in with the paint and it won't matter. Okay, so here's what we have. Now you can really see the detail where you couldn't before as much. Paint blue is such a light color, but now I'm going to come in with the turquoise teal and hit up some of that detail. And now we're getting back some of the beautiful color. You can use as much or as little as you like. And I'm not rubbing that around the outside. I'm just keeping that for the actual detail in there. And then let's mix this guy up a little bit and put some of the Anastasia. On the flower. Look how pretty. Oh, look how pretty pretty that is. Okay. Well, these look gorgeous in the Easter basket. Okay, well, I'm going to keep playing with these. You know, we have all kinds of colors with these. There's green and green patina and the turquoise teal. We have bronze and gold. There's black. These are so nice. I just love how easy it is to just dip your finger in and use it that way. I think with the bee, the gold would be, and the crown, the gold would be very regal with it. So use your imagination and do what you like with these. Okay? So next we're going to move on and we're going to show you the knob toppers. So stay with me. Okay, next up with our Eggstravaganza are the knob toppers. And this is a decor stamp from IOD. And you can see some of the fantastic designs that are on there. A lot of very French country things, a lot of cool designs like a mandala. The crackle one is cool. Every time I look, I see another one because there's so many of them. Let me see. There are, I guess I'm just going to have to count them, but there's a whole bunch of designs all in this one stamp set. Okay. So cool. There's a little Sears Roebuck writing on there. So neat. And there's also two sizes. They are designed to stamp the knobs for your cabinet. They come in a large and a smaller. There's a 1 1/4, because we actually sell the knobs too. There's wooden knobs 1 1/4 and also the 1 1/2. And I'm using the 1 1/2 for my eggs. So I want to show you how to use the Flexi Stamper to achieve these designs. So I have chosen, get ready here, I've chosen one dark color to work with and one stamp, just for ease of use here. And what we're going to use is the amethyst, okay, because I'm going to put the camera down here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I have 3 eggs here. I have one that's painted in Lucky Lavender and one that's painted in Apricot or Apricot. You say tomato, I say tomato. And then there's one in Daisy. Gorgeous colors for spring. And we're just gonna zhuzh them up a little bit. First of all, you need to prepare your stamp. And I thought I just pulled one, but no, I just prepared it. When I say prepare, what I mean is you need to sand it. Now again, I'm working from home and I don't have my sandpaper here. I just used an emery board. And all you do is go in one direction on the stamp. This seems a little weird and unnatural maybe, but it just gives the stamp a little tooth. And then in the other direction, you can see it gets kind of hazy gray and the print comes off of it. So, but you can't hurt these things, and you've just made it so that the paint adheres to it a little bit easier. Okay, so the one that I had prepared was the roses. Now, also it seems like you're going to hurt the stamp when you pull it off, but really they're very easy to use. Okay, and then you're going to put you're going to put the stamp right in the center of the Flexi Stamper. Now there's 2 sizes on here again, the 1 1/4 and the 1 1/2. Usually you would use a paint brayer. And I'm making do. So what my process is today, it's a different process, but what I'm gonna do is just put, excuse me 1 second. Okay, so what I'm gonna do instead, since I don't have my brayer, is just put some paint out on here. Just gonna flip it over onto the egg and just don't want to move it around too much, but just apply some pressure because that's what makes the design. Okay, I missed a little bit on the left-hand side, but that's what I came up with. So as with anything, you know, you want to play around with it a little bit. You could use the brush and apply it directly. Don't want to get anything anywhere else on here. Inks are going to give you the best impressions, and using the brayer would probably be a good idea because you don't want paint to be in the other areas, and with this method it's kind of easy to get it there. But I'm going to try another one just so you can see. So again, we're putting the amethyst stamp on the apricot. So just use your other fingers to just kind of steady it over there, but once you put it down, you don't want to move it. Okay, I am going to just make sure that I'm getting all sides of it. Okay, so I live and learn. Shouldn't have used a brush because I had just washed the brush out. So that one's a little too wet. Okay. The beautiful thing about paint is you can paint right over it, right? So, one more try. And we're going to use amethyst paint on the Lucky Lavender egg. This just kind of sticks in there. And we'll make the design make sense on the egg. So there we go. That's a nice one. I like that. Okay. All right, well, that's as easy as it gets, folks. I'm going to keep playing, and I'm going to show you then, I'm going to show you then when I'm done about what all these beautiful eggs look like. I'm literally going to put all my eggs in one basket so you can see the beauty of them. Thanks to Dixie Belle products for the gorgeous paint, the array of spring colors that they provide, 64 colors. It's just like a crayon box to me, my grown-up crayons. And thanks to IOD, or Iron Orchid Designs, for the air dry clay in the new formula, the molds with the micro edge that makes it so much easier, and also the fantastic stamps. So in this case, we used the knob topper stamp and the flexi stamper to achieve the results. And also the brayer would be something you'd want to have too. And I'm building my supply online, so you can go to lavintagedecor.company/DIY to purchase supplies directly from me. And also you can purchase the Dixie Belle paint from me as well. So you can either purchase it from Dixie Belle and also purchase it on the website. So I'm building it, so if it says it's out of stock, it might be just that we're not done adding everything to it yet. So it's a process, and it's a process I'm learning. And another thing I'm learning to do is my YouTube channel. Every time I do a video, I see things that I can do better. But one of the things that will really help me grow is if you like my video, if you share it, and also if you subscribe to my channel, The Vintage Decor. I thank you so much, and you have a wonderful Easter.